Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chill. This episode number 110. And this week, I welcome back Paul, aka Inhuman.
Hey, how we doing, ladies and gents? How we doing? Glad to be back. Appreciate the invite.
Yes, sir. Glad you can join me here because, as everyone can see, no Roger and no Scott this week. And that's all right because we'll miss them this week, but they'll be back in the next week. So thanks, brother, for coming on to the show here. And let's dive into
Do
what
what
we.
I can.
Right, man. Let's like talk about what we've been playing this week. Let's see here. What do you got on the list, man? Gotham Knights, man. Gotham Knights. You picked that up already? What's your take on this so far? How's it playing? What's going on here?
Oh man, Gotham Knights. Yeah, it was put on Game Pass and everything. So I said, you know what? Let me just give this shit a shot and everything because I want to. I'm focusing because of our games club. Shout out Shoot to Win. Because of our games club, we're playing a certain game. But Gotham Knights, I was like, I wanted to buy it last year. It was put on Game Pass. So let me give it a quick try. I ain't gonna hold you. I haven't put it down yet. It's something about that game. It kind of gives you that old. It feels like an old 360 game, honestly. But I'll be honest. It's a little buggy. The parkour mechanics kind of dog water. But it's something about the game. Maybe it's because I read the comics of the storyline and everything, so I know how it kind of unfolds. But so far, there are little things that they changed that are not exactly how the comics went. So yeah, I don't know what it's about, man. I'm just having a blast.
Right. Well, at least you're having fun playing a game that seems like it's dog water. So
Yes.
I eventually want to check it out. I mean, especially once it came to Game Pass, I was like, hey, why not? It's not a game that
Yeah.
I'm willing to buy unless it was like super cheap. So yeah, definitely it's on my list, my backlog to eventually check out for sure. But
Hell yeah.
I continued my journey here with Sea of Stars for about an hour over the past week, and just I really enjoyed it. I talked about it last week how like the story just progresses you further, like without having to think too hard. Like it's not like this open world having to explore. Like what do I do next? Oh, let me go do these list of chores for no reason. Like this game, just the story keeps building on, and it's just a great and like how they introduce new mechanics is awesome as well. Like I got to the point where like you get this like power to be able to like it reminds me of like Pokemon when you learn to move strength and you get to move the boulders around and shit like that. Like
There
it's
you
basically
go.
what you're doing in Sea of Stars, and they're like these tall pillars that you can move around, unlock new areas and stuff like that. So that's been pretty cool there. The other game I did continue my playthrough of is Starfield. I played for another about an hour of that. I've had pretty limited game time this week, so I'm surprised I was able to play even 4 games, but Starfield just pushing through the story a little bit more, just playing some more side missions, still doing some Freestar Collective side missions. I want to progress the main story a little bit further. Like I started the Into the Unknown mission, and it just completely fucking hard right went completely side mission, and like I know how important the Into the Unknown mission is because like that's when you get the abilities and stuff like that. So it's like, fuck man, I got to get back on track, get those abilities, and then hopefully I can branch out and start having some fun there.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. No question. Before we move on, for Starfield, does it feel like when you're doing the side mission? Because this was me in Skyrim.
Hmm.
Whenever I went to go do side stuff, it didn't feel like I was wasting my time. Because and it'll be dumb stuff. I'll go take my horse to like the woods, and now I'm hunting. Like like
Right, right, right.
does it feel like that? It doesn't really feel like you're wasting your time though. Like the side things is like it actually is engaging.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Scott and Roger would say the opposite. Like they're like, man, I feel like that's so boring and stuff like that. But like, I'm feel like I'm like in the game doing these side missions, like because I went to like Freestar Collective or when I first joined the UC Vanguard, and they were like, hey, by the way, can you help us out real quick? Yeah, I'll go help you out real quick. And it
Yeah.
kind of like branched off and it led to like more mystery. Like when I first did the UC Vanguard mission, it like led to the introduction of the Terramorphs and like what the fuck are the Terramorphs? Well, these are these badass alien creatures that wipe out human civilizations when they were first introduced, and there was a war with them, and you're like, holy fuck, like so it's just like little stuff like that, and like building up to them as well is awesome. So overall, I would say like the side missions to me have been fun. There have been like a couple ones that it was like hack into the computer here, join this, do that, and it was just like that was tedious, or like go collect 10 iron
Yeah.
ore, and I was like, this was kind of pointless. Like I didn't need to do this, but I did it anyway.
So it quite from what you're the way you're describing it quite literally is Skyrim in space.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like that
easily
and
hands
to me
down.
that's a blast
Yeah.
because Skyrim was a game that was literally like it was the game that kind of got me into Twitch, like watching
Hmm.
people play games. Like I would sit there and just watch my sister just play and everything. I'm like, all right, cool. Now I play, and then she's just watching me and stuff, and that's how
Hmm.
I got into watching people on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like, no, that sounds like a blast, man. Yeah, and it's weird that you say because I feel like a lot of people I've heard like negative things about Starfield, They expected it to be something very different from
Right.
a Skyrim in space. Um, but yeah, no, it
Yeah.
sounds beautiful.
It's
Once I finish these
it's
20 other
it's
games,
because
I'll jump on that.
I hindered my expectations because I know it's coming from Bethesda and I know what kind of game they make. They don't make these
Yes,
blockbuster sci-fi games. Like, they are very methodical, they are very story driven, they are very like RPG heavy. Like, you are role playing this
yes.
goddamn character. And like, because like I said last week, like, I'm a space scoundrel. Like, I literally try to sit in that gray area of like, I do some good stuff but I also do some shady shit. It's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
And then that's honestly like some of my decisions have that immediate impact. Like, my companion be like, ooh, I didn't like that. And it's just like, sorry bud, but that's what I did. I don't care if you liked it. Like, that's just my character in the game. Like, I'm
I
trying to
like
play that,
that.
so like I'm just having fun doing that shit. But yeah.
Beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
But let's talk about another game here that you played was Call of Duty. Obviously, I still haven't played in fucking months at this point. Kind of still doing my my boycott of the game, even though Modern Warfare 3 is right around the corner. But how's it been playing for you?
Yeah.
How's the comp matches going and all that?
Well, for one, only reason why that's on that list is it barely made the cut. I'll be honest with you. Out of the 3 games that I played this week, I hopped on and I played third person for maybe like for the full week. I probably only played like 3 hours of Call of Duty all week, which is like zero time for me compared to how much time I actually do put into Call of Duty normally.
Mhm.
Yeah, it feels same o. Nothing really changed. But I was just obsessed. Honestly, I'll be honest. What happened was I was turned off. I was watching the Call of Duty Next event, and I saw everything for the next game, and I was like, I don't even want to touch this game no more.
Right, right. Yeah, I've been watching some people play like the beta and stuff, and like the
Yeah,
zombie shit looks really good. Multiplayer just looks like,
yeah.
eh. Like, I was watching this guy talking about. He was like, I don't know how long into this game where it's gonna burn out. Like, okay, I had enough because like all the maps that are coming are all old maps, unless
All
like,
OG maps. Yep.
so it's like they're old to us, but granted, that was like what 12, 14 years ago. So there's a lot of people that never had a chance to play these maps. So they are gonna be brand new to those folks. But people like us that we played on them shits for like 3 years, easily 3 years, and you're just like, when I'm probably going to get burnt out because I'm looking to learn a new map, because those maps you're going to be able to play
Yeah.
on. You already know where to go, what people do, and how people play those maps. You played them day in and day out, but you like that new feeling of like, all right, I got to learn this map. Where do people go? Where do people like to hang out? You're not even going to need to
Yeah.
put any effort into that.
I think the only thing that because that is 100% right. I was talking to some of the old heads at my job. That is 100% right. The only thing that I feel as though might be different is due to the fact that you can vault certain things now. I know what routes people will take because of lanes, obviously, but because certain stuff you can vote now, it kind of changes things a little bit. Obviously,
Hmm.
not too much. It changes it, but aside from that, I thought the same exact thing. Now I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get bored extremely fast. It's not going to be fun for a while. Now they did say they're going to drop more stuff, but regardless,
Hmm.
16 maps that the game's dropping with are all OG maps.
Right.
Now I would love to return to Terminal just as much as the next person,
Yeah.
or Afghan and everything, or Favela. Like, I would love to go back to all these maps and everything, but like you said, once nostalgia wears off, I don't know where I'll stand.
Right. And then like an interesting leak that came out, which it wasn't on the list here, so we could talk about it real quick. Was like,
Okay.
apparently like each season is supposed to be centered around another like older Call of Duty. Because like the one that has
Yes.
leaked so far was like season 3 is supposed to be all about Advanced Warfare. So you're going to see like
Hmm.
4 weapons from Advanced Warfare come. You're going to see some maps from Advanced Warfare coming and stuff like that. But I'm interested with the maps because like obviously Advanced Warfare was the whole jetpack era of Call of Duty. So like the verticality
Yes,
of
it
those
was.
maps are going to be way different than like boots on the ground. So I wonder how they transition those over. But nonetheless, I'm excited for that because like it just seems like this Call of Duty is just like to get us to the next one. Like this is really just Modern Warfare 2.5, and we're just gonna have like throwback seasons because it's already a throwback game. Now we're gonna have throwback seasons. They're recycling content again. Like I comment on JD's post all the time on Facebook, and I'm like, oh great, like when are they're reselling us content? We've already paid for this,
Yep.
and now we're getting it again. And it's just like, when are
This,
we going to get new content, legitimately brand new original
yeah,
content?
the past 3 Modern Warfares at least. So 2019 Modern Warfare, the past Modern Warfare 2 that we just had, and now Modern Warfare 3. This is simply just giving us the same multiplayer. Oh, excuse me, my apologies. The same multiplayer content just to sell a campaign. Honestly, if we're going to be real,
Hmm.
the campaigns are extremely nice. They are pretty much the only thing that's new because they took the old story, revamped it, retold, gave it some origins. Certain things are going to
Right.
stay the same, new, a little bit new, blah blah blah. But it's literally all just to it's new wrapping paper, which is the campaign, on top of the present that you get, which is the same shit.
Right.
So yeah, you're right on that. Yeah, right
Yeah.
on the money.
Yeah. So we'll see how Modern Warfare 3 goes. But let's talk about my other game here before we talk about the game that we both played this week. I played a little bit more Forza Horizon 5. I'm really enjoying the.
Yeah.
I finally discovered how seasons work in Forza. I really didn't know much about them, but like legitimate season, like you go through summer, fall, spring, and they're all collection into a series, and you earn points to unlock new cars for your inventory. And then like there's also a series
Okay.
where you're earning points toward to unlock new cars as well. But to do these, like you gotta do certain events. Like there's treasure hunts. Like you gotta it says go to this part of the map and then try and just find where this is at, and you find it like, oh, and then it's an obstacle course. You have to go through the obstacle course, and at the end there's a treasure chest. You get like $100,000. Boom. And then there's like, hey, you got to go take a picture with this car at this mural or this monument or whatever. Boom, that's another thing. Or you got to do like certain speed traps and shit like that. Like it's just really dope to do. And they're like, hey, you got to do it in this car at this performance level, and it's just like I would never probably have picked this
Ah,
car out of my inventory to use it. And it's just like it's making me do shit that I probably wouldn't have done in the game.
are you enjoying that?
Oh yeah,
Because I do know.
I'm
Okay,
loving it.
okay, okay. Because Call of Duty try to do the same dumb stuff with their guns.
Yeah.
You want this barrel, you got to use this shotgun that you'll just never
Hmm.
use a day in your life.
Right. Yeah. No, that was different when you were trying to progress to it, but now it's just like
Yeah.
it's just if you want to work towards more cars and shit like that, and like it gives you a chance to use those other cars that you probably wouldn't have. Like I
Yes.
had to use like the fucking Predator van that I would call like the white box van. I had to go do
Uh huh.
some. I had to win a race in one of those. Would I ever want to use one of those in that game? No, because that shit's slow as fuck.
Yeah.
And I did it. So it's like shit like
Oh,
that.
shit.
So overall, yeah,
No, that's
it's
love, bro.
definitely been
That's
fun.
love.
And with Forza Motorsport right around the corner here, which I'm looking forward to on that. But
Oh,
let's
it
talk
looks
about
so good.
yeah, looks damn near realistic. Like people were like, is this real or is this a game? And it makes the Gran Turismo 7 look like dog water, like tenfold.
Yeah, I was just watching some videos today before we jump into this thing real quick. And people were coming at IGN and other people who cover video games because quite a few people posted their own footage that they have actually captured from behind the scenes on Twitter, and it looks amazing. But yet, certain reputable sites or whatever, or even just
Hmm.
people trolls and everything trying to be funny, the stuff that they're putting up, either they're just downloading it and re-uploading it on horrible quality,
Yeah,
or they just don't know how to properly capture something. I don't I don't know.
right. Yeah, yeah, it's night and day difference. Like they would take the same car, race it on the same track, Gran Turismo versus Forza, and it's
Yes.
like with the fact that Forza will have 60 frames per second on like while racing and not just in your car Vista mode, it's going to be fucking lit. Like it's
Yeah, I
going to
saw
be
the one with
unmatched.
the red car on the racetrack.
Hmm.
They had the both same one. And I said, "Oh, this is gonna be a video to watch." I was dying laughing.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. But let's talk about our last game here, Lies of P. It's a game that we're playing right now. 4 Shoot to Wins Game Club. So shout out, come check us out when we do that. Um, I'm only at got just got to the second boss. I'm only about 2 hours in. I have not played at all much this week. I got to that and stopped. But I know you're a lot further than me. So like, how's your playthrough going without like trying to spoil anything?
Without spoiling anything, one, I'm actually not much further away from you. This game is extremely linear,
Hmm.
and by that I mean, when I tell you I'm not that much further away from you, there is probably maybe I forget what they call it in the game, but in Dark Souls games they call them bonfires. But I am like two safe checkpoints away from where you're at,
No, okay.
and I already dropped the third boss. So it's really not that far away.
Hmm.
One thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people have actually kept claiming that this game is extremely, extremely hard. Maybe I haven't hit that difficulty spike just yet from where I'm at.
Hmm.
Um, but it's really not hard at all.
Right.
I think maybe a lot of people simply just haven't played any Souls games, or
Hmm.
they're probably not as efficient in Souls games.
Right.
Uh,
It's
I don't
definitely not
know
for
if they
everyone.
Oh, definitely not. I don't know if JD himself has ever played the Souls game, but he was streaming it, and that first boss, even though the first boss is not hard at all, I think he beat him. I think first try or second try, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like
And
that. Yeah.
he not familiar with the controls whatsoever, has no clue what's going on and stuff. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, listen, the game's actually really not hard at all.
Right.
Um, as I guess I'll consider myself a Souls veteran. Yeah, this game is extremely easy
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
far, at least. Again, I probably haven't hit that difficulty spike that some people do speak of. But so far, enemy types extremely easy. The heavy enemies extremely easy. Bosses very well thought out. They look amazing and stuff, but it is very soulsy in
Yeah.
which you could kind of just sidestep a lot of it. But I do understand. I would say that this game is quite literally just the child of Bloodborne,
Yeah.
and it's not just aesthetic wise. It's also in how you fight bosses, the parry system. Um, the only thing that I will say separates this game from others is the weapon system, in
Mm.
which you can have a different handle or hilt, and your blade type or whatever main
Yeah.
part of your weapon will be separate as well, and you could change, mix and match and stuff like that.
Right.
That part extremely unique to this game, and Chef's Kiss.
Yeah.
Love that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
What's your experience though? Talk to me.
Yeah, because I'm not really big into Souls games. I never played any of the Dark Souls games. I have a couple of them actually back here on the shelf here, but I've never played them. I guess the closest I've ever gotten to a Souls game would be Star Wars Jedi, whether it be Jedi Survivor or Fallen.
Yeah,
Um,
those are so like.
those are
Yep.
definitely Souls like, but like that's where I feel like where Liza P is at, like difficulty wise, because like Star Wars, you got through the bosses. They were hard. Sometimes you die a lot. Sometimes you don't get through them. Whatever. And that's kind of how I feel about Liza P. It's not like, man, this shit's fucking impossible. It's like, no, I'm just fucking up. I'm just not getting the rhythm down of the bosses. And
Yep.
then once I figured it out, yeah, it's definitely not as hard. I mean, I'm only got to the second boss. I've tried him like a couple of times. I died like twice, but I had to get off the stream, and I was just like, I think I could beat him pretty quickly the next time around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm only at the second boss, which is like you said, it's not considered a legitimate boss, but he's still. I'm at the donkey head for those that are wondering where I'm at. But
Yeah.
overall,
No,
it's an enjoyable experience. Like all the smaller enemies are kind of like pointless. Like you just kill them like instantly. They have like as soon as you hit them, like their attacks don't fucking matter for real.
yep.
Yeah.
You can also roll into some of them, and it just completely like nulls their attack. They try to hit you, roll like dodge roll into them and stuff, and then they get staggered. Like
Yeah.
like the game is like extremely soulsy, and it's like sometimes it's painfully obvious how much is actually like the whole you getting hit and you can get some of your health back.
Yeah.
Bloodborne. Now, granted, yes, you can also do that in I believe Dark Souls 3, but you need a certain I think ring in order to do that, so that doesn't matter. But you know they got it's from Bloodborne and everything stuff. So it is damn near a copy and paste. But what I will say is again, the game is extremely linear. And also side quest. That is one thing I did not expect to actually enjoy.
Hmm.
There's a lady you can speak to in the window, and she'll actually tell you like, "Hey, like, can you get my baby?"
Yeah.
And then later on, you unlock the area where you can do that side quest. Is extremely, at first it's funny when you continue with it, but once it ends, it's like, oh no, this is actually like really dark,
Yeah.
like extremely dark. So yes, if anyone who has not played it, please go pick it up and everything, or wait for a sale, or if you have Game Pass, hey,
Yeah.
it's all yours.
It's on Game Pass, right? So let's go ahead and move on though from what we've been talking about, and let's go ahead and talk about the upcoming game releases. All right, so I'm gonna kick it off here with the first one on the list is Forza Motorsport. I just talked about it a little bit ago. It does release officially on October 10th. You can play it now if you get the early access premium bonus or whatever, the more expensive edition of the game. This is coming to Series S and X only, along with PC, so no Xbox One. But you can play this via cloud. Eventually, it's just not available on the cloud just yet. So I definitely highly recommend checking this out here in a couple of days. Then we got Gator game coming out to PS4 and the 5, Xbox One, Series S and X. This just seems like a very like kid-friendly cartoon kind of game coming from Mega Wobble. It's an adventure game. This game came out actually last year on December 14th for the Switch and PC. It's just getting the rest of the console edition. So if you're into those kind of games, go check those out. And an interesting one here also on October 10th is Roblox is officially coming to the PS4. So if you still have the PS4 and you finally want to play Roblox, a game that officially came out in 2006 for the PC, it eventually came to iOS in 2012, Android on 2014, Xbox One in 2015, and then the Meta Quest on last or earlier this year is now officially coming to the PS4.
Sheesh.
So enjoy that one there. And then you got Wild Card Football is coming to PS4, 5, Xbox One, and SNX along with the Switch and the PC on the 10th. 10th is a big day for game releases. This is kind of like a fun, I guess, like arcade style kind of football game. This one's coming from Saber Interactive, so they've been pretty hit or miss lately. So hopefully they come out with something good
Yeah.
there. But if you're looking for an alternative to Madden and want to just have some fun casually play, this one might be for you. And then anyone that's big into the Total War series, Pharaoh is coming out on the October 11th called Pharaoh. Don't know much about this. This is coming from Creative Assembly and is published by Sega. This is a strategy game, so anybody big into those, go check that out there. This is a game that trilogy that I'm actually kind of playing through. I beat the first two ones, but Batman Arkham Trilogy is officially coming to the Switch on October 13th. I played through Asylum and City. Still got to play through Night to finish off that one, but this is a highly praised series. Definitely go check it out if you have not and you don't have any other place to play it. But the Switch, this is a great one to check out there. And last but not least here on our list is Lords of the Fallen coming to PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC on October 13th. This is a like reboot of the OG game from I think it was like 2013 is when it came out. This one I think is going to be also like kind of like a Souls-like game where it twists the mechanic where like when you die you don't like start over, you go into like this like afterlife realm and you kind of gotta recover from that. So that's going to be pretty interesting there. It's on my radar. I don't think I'm gonna check it out this year. It'll probably be a game that'll be on my backlog for me to check out later. So that is all the games that are coming out this week. So Paul, which one of these games are you most anticipated for?
God. Anticipating, but not gonna play because currently playing too much right now. Forza Motorsport. It, God, like I'm not really. I used to be a huge fan of the Motorsport series, but when Horizon came out, due to the fact that I am a huge Need for Speed fan, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of lean more towards Horizon. Makes a little more sense. But this game just looks gorgeous, so I am gonna be rocking with that. Roblox, no. Little Gator game. I actually haven't seen anything of it, so I'll have to do my own research on that, catch my knowledge up a little. Wildcard Football, they're actually doing very, very good with promotion on this to the point that like I'm actually surprised it's on this list because uh I don't think many people, aside from people like you and me that try to keep up with the news, actually know about that game.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks hilarious. So I'm definitely gonna love that. And then Lords of the Fallen, because it's a Souls-like game, I'm always gonna be interested into them. But probably not gonna touch it like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably wait till like maybe next year when it's on Game
Yeah.
Pass.
Then
Once
when it
my
comes to Game
backlog
Pass.
once my backlog drops down a little, then I'll probably jump on it. Like Jesus Christ, I've been trying to finish Biomutant for like the past year.
Oh,
Like
jeez.
I can't, bro. I got too many games on my list. But yeah, no, it's just like a good week of games and everything. But Forza Motorsport is probably top of my list right now.
Yeah, yeah, I would
And so
definitely have
yeah.
to second that. Forza Motorsport, I'm planning to play this shit day one because I might be able to substitute it or like alternate between Forza Horizon 5 and Motorsport, just so I can have that balance and compare the two games. But yeah, I love the Horizon series much better just because like the open world and like the different kinds of races where like Motorsport is like
Yes.
your traditional Formula like Formula One simulated legitimately racing circuit races and stuff like that. So, but I liked
Yes.
Forza Motorsport just because like how in depth they go with their cars. Like you can really like you can just be a legitimately like be a car owner, like a car lover, and be in this game. And like the whole Forza Vista, being able to like sit in the car and see what it looks like, and just how detailed this game is. This one actually
Yeah,
pushes like the Series S and the X to like its complete max on the settings. Like I believe
yeah,
this runs at 1440p 60k or 60 frames per second with ray tracing on even the Series S, which is awesome because like everyone's been
Ooh,
saying like the Series S is holding the Series X back, but every game that comes out from Microsoft Studios has no issues with the Series S other than Redfall. Redfall
yeah.
was just whatever.
I just think honestly, like when everybody laughed when Microsoft was like, "Yeah, just wait for the tools, wait for the tools." I don't think people know how to properly maybe use the tools, or they honestly they don't have the time nor money to invest into it enough to apply
Right.
the what they need to with the tools. But again, maybe it's also their own engine.
Hmm.
Like, let's be honest. But at the same time, racing games have always been the game to premiere what your system is able
Can
to
do,
do
yeah.
or what your specs are able to do. That's the reason why we always saw it at E3. Look what
Hmm.
we're able to do and everything and stuff with the Xbox One X.
Hmm.
Was it Forza? They said, "Hey, yeah, no, no, no. Go ahead and put the FPS counter. It's going to be locked at 60." I said, "Oh, y'all talking big, huh?"
Yeah, they sure were. Yeah, so we'll see how this week plays out for games. So let's go ahead and move on here from our upcoming game releases toward the industry news because we got some pretty good updates. All right, so got to kick it off this week with an update to the Microsoft and the Activision Blizzard deal. And Microsoft is looking to close this deal this week on October 13th, which is so happened to be Friday, October the 13th. So that's a
Mhm.
spooky season, but that's awesome to see. And I think when this happens, I think we actually might see all of the old Call of Duties get dropped on the Game Pass because we've already seen those leaks that when you go to buy some of the older games in like different countries, it's like, hey, you sure you want to buy this because you can enjoy this free on Game Pass right now. Like it's already in the code. It's already set up for when it comes to Game Pass. It's just when, especially with the new Call of Duty dropping on the 5th. Why not drop these shits
Yep.
like right now, building up the hype for Call of Duty? The beta's over. You don't want to play Modern Warfare 2. You can hop into Modern Warfare 2, the OG Classic, or the Modern Warfare 3 OG Classic. Get prepared for those maps again, and boom, Modern Warfare 3 drops, and you have a reason to transition. That's just my thoughts on that.
I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you.
It just makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, no, and I'm just happy that finally, like, this is supposed to be the date that they close it, and I'm praying that over there, they show some love and just let it go by,
Right.
because we don't know what their decision is going to be, but we do know what Microsoft is willing to do,
Right.
so just let it go by. Fight your battles later on if you have to.
Right. Right. But let's talk about another battle here. With this one came out of nowhere because I wasn't kind of expecting this, but with Bungie, right? This is bad news here for Sony as well because they are now
Yeah.
aforementioned bought. But this could have happened before Sony's buyout. That's finally coming up. But Bungie's being sued. This is the quote from the article I read. It says former Bungie HR manager is suing Bungie for wrongful termination, alleging she was let go when she raised a potential case of racial discrimination to her supervisors. She reported it to the supervisor but alleges that her recommendation was met with hostility and denial. She was told that the individuals had been there for a long time and are highly regarded, and her recommendation was denied. And it's just like, that's not okay. Like that's a
E-
very toxic environment, and someone who's trying to raise the flags are getting fired. And like not only can like she sue them for like wrongful terminations, but like you can also get in trouble for the whistleblowers protection act. Like, hey, something's wrong here, guys, and they're like, no, you're good, you're fired. It's illegal, straight up.
Yeah, and what makes it worse is the fact that she was the HR manager. That's what literally it's their job.
Right.
Like that's what makes it even worse. They're trying to tell you, yo, listen, what you hired me to do, I'm doing right now, and I'm letting you know it's so much of stuff going on. And they're sitting here like, nah, 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 we rock with them and everything. They have a good tenure here and stuff. They're cool. No, that's not
You know
okay.
what this reminds me of? The whole fucking Seagate shit or whatever. That submarine went down, and the dude that was in charge of like
Oh,
quality control, he was like, "Hey, this submarine isn't set up to go down there at all." And they're like, "We don't need that. You're gone. You're fired." And next, blows up. And he
exactly.
was like, "Should have just listened to me."
Yeah,
And that's
one
kind of what's
hundred
happening
percent.
here, and just in a different text, different format here. But sad to see because this
Yeah.
this is this is never okay because someone who was trying to do their job and protect someone else got fired for doing their job and therefore that other person priority went through racial discrimination, like went through that whole process as well, and then
Yeah.
that person got fired for trying to protect someone. Like that's just bad news there. So,
Yeah.
and I'm just surprised, man, coming from a good studio from Bungie, but you never know what goes on behind closed doors.
At all, brother. At all. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sad times there. But man, that is all of our industry news, man. We're kind of rocking through this really quickly, but let's go ahead and move on here to our gaming news. So, obviously, we kick off gaming news every week with Xbox. And first off was a big one. This is one of the main topics I did want to talk to you about because this is a game that we actually did play and beat. And it's kind of like, damn, we probably should have waited because Redfall got its big titled 2.0 title update and comes with 60 FPS. You can finally do stealth takedowns, which I thought was missing. Like I didn't think up too much of it. But I was like, why can't I just walk up behind this dude, just slit his throat, and that's it. Yeah. On top of that, this is actually a problem that we actually talked about was there was no enemies in the world. We were walking around, we are like, this shit's empty, bro. And they're increasing the open world enemy population along with new encounters, whatever those may be. Maybe it's kind of like those hives where you're gonna go kill the hive, and clear out that area because they're stronger in that
Okay.
area or something like that. There's also new controller settings along with gameplay and combat changes, which I'm curious what exactly did change on that. But and apparently there's much more updates, whether it's like quality of life and stuff like that. But I don't think this is going to be enough to ever want me to go back to Redfall. Like maybe if they release free DLC, like the builds on the story, maybe we can go back and see and
Yes.
compare the difference of like the 30 FPS versus the 60 and all of the changes they made.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a little time, so I'll jump on this for a little bit. Jesus. My issue, if they do choose to continue, and let's say they do add some free DLC or whatnot for story. Okay, cool. I pray they don't do the DLC story the same way they did the campaign story. There was a lot of back and forth for no reason in the game. It was like, hey, you got to get these three objects and everything. They're on three different parts of the world. Fine, whatever. But when you go in here to get this object, you have to go in here. It's gonna port you to somewhere else. You then have to go through all this stuff, go to the object, just press X, by the way. That's all I got to do. Interact. And then just run all the way to the beginning part of the map, teleport back, and now go all the way back. You're doing too much. I got to do this three times. And for what? Because the leveling up system really wasn't all that. I promise you, and you know this because we played it. You don't have to fully upgrade your tree, your skill tree at all. There was times in which I had like 11 skill points and I was like, oh snap, we're still mowing down on them. So when it comes to where they're talking about gameplay and combat changes, I'm hoping it's kind of also a little bit more visual. The last shotgun I got in a game from my character, when she would reload, it's like she would like levitate the shotgun shells and put them in, and it looked cool as hell. And even when I got a shotgun that was stronger than that, I still wouldn't use it simply off the reload animation. That's it, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's stuff like that, but 60 FPS, very well welcomed. Love that. Um, yeah, I'm with you though. I think it's a little too late for me at least.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, if you want to jump in, hey, I'll download it again. You let me know, brother. We rocking out. But I do feel it is a little too late to bring at least the masses back.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, Microsoft is just trying to stick to their word. They're like, hey, we want to support this for as long as we can. Before, obviously, they're working on Dishonored 3, but it's just like, let's try and support this game because this was supposed to be one of our big games of 2023, and it kind of just
Yes.
missed the mark all the way. But yeah, I don't see myself hopping back into Redfall anytime soon. Backlog is crazy. We still got to get through fucking Back for Blood before we move on to another co-op game, and our
This
game
is
club
just
game. It's just too much.
yeah.
Yeah. So moving on here to Xbox's services, they did announce some new Game Pass additions coming. Warhammer 40k Darktide finally got its cloud and Series X and S release. It came out on the 6th or something like that, so it is available now. We just talked about Forza Motorsport coming to cloud, PC, and Series S and X on October 10th. Next up was Free Space coming to cloud, console, and PC on October 12th. And the big one here is Like a Dragon Ishin coming to cloud, console, and PC on October 17th. When this was first announced that it was coming to Game Pass, it didn't have a date. but now we
Yep.
do. It's finally coming out on October 17th. Because then, Like a Dragon, I don't know, the new one that's coming out is getting its November like day and date. It's supposed to come out, so it makes sense. So you can play
And
through that, get to the next one.
for those fans, man, I've heard nothing but the fans of the series like they are ecstatic for this game. I don't know what's going on in the story or why people, like are looking so much forward towards this game, but it's almost making me want to go watch like a YouTube breakdown video for the story so that way I know what the hell's going on and why this character's so important. I'll watch a 2 hour long breakdown, I don't mind. But this is gonna be nice.
Yeah, the game that comes out in November is Like a Dragon Gaiden, the Man Who Erased His Name. That's the name of that one. So that is coming to Game
Gotcha.
Pass as well, day one. Some sad news though is Game Pass departures. There is no date yet with these, but they did announce that Trek to Yomi, The Legend of Tiending, Turnip Boy commits tax evasion, and Evil are all leaving Game Pass. Out of these four, I highly recommend checking out Trek to Yomi. That game was just beautiful. Like the whole side scrolling, the combat, the aesthetic, like everything about that game was
Is that the
wonderful.
black and white one?
Yeah, and you're like
Yeah.
that samurai, and like how the game just like weaves the story in. Like it's like a perfect game, damn near a perfect game.
That's nice. That's nice.
And it don't even take that long to beat. If I'm not mistaken, it only took like 6 hours maybe. Let me see. I'm trying to look it up here. Trek to Yomi is how long is Trek to Yomi? 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, so not even that
Okay,
long.
okay.
So you can
Now,
definitely get
out of
through
the
that.
games that are going to be added to Game Pass, which games are you looking more forward to?
I mean, obviously Forza Motorsport was the one we were just talking about big time. I've
Yes.
never played any of the Yakuza or like a Dragon game, so it's just like I don't know if I could hop into Ishin because it's like it's a weird timeline with that one as well. But I do want to give Dark Tide a go because me and Roger played it on PC when it came out day one, the Game Pass PC, and it
Okay.
was missing a lot of features. It needed a lot of updates, and I know the game's going to run better and look better on my Series X. So maybe it's a time to revisit this game because they also revamped the game. Like they went through and redid all the talent trees and stuff like that, like the new missions and like just how the game works in general. So like it might be time to return now that it's coming to
Okay.
the Series X. And it's a
Yeah,
co-op game. It's
I
like a
don't.
four-player co-op game, I think. So it's a lot of. It was a lot of fun when we played it. It was just missing a lot of shit.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When they talked about Dark Tide coming out, I was deeply disappointed because I thought it was the third person Warhammer 40K coming out. That
Mm.
game, the what's
Space
it called?
Marine.
The Marine one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Space Marine
Space
2.
Marine. I thought that was that one coming out, and I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, I'm on the phone with my man's Yamis, and I'm like, yo, the Warhammer game coming out. He's like, word, really? I said, yeah. They just dropped the drop. So I pulled up the trailer. I said, oh no, not the first person one.
Yeah, but that joint was fire though. Like Dark Tide is tough because
It
like it's
looks
dark and
great.
gritty. Like it's just it was a lot of fun. It just was like it had a lot of issues. So hopefully now it's good to go.
No doubt, no
But
doubt.
what about you? Out of those four, which one are you most excited for?
Um, I'm probably gonna Forza, like we said earlier. But I'm probably gonna give Like a Dragon a try.
Okay,
Only because there was this game that I used to have. Is it Sleeping Dogs?
Sleeping Dogs.
Is
Yeah, that
that
was a
what?
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, if it's similar to that in game mechanics and play style and stuff, now that isn't part of the Like a Dragon series, but if it is similar to like that, then yeah, I might actually dig that. So I'll give it a try, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, we always say it's on Game Pass. Why not? If you don't like it, just delete it. It's just that simple. It's not like you wasted 50, 60, $70 on a game. You're like, fuck, I gotta play this shit just because I bought it.
Exactly.
But moving on here to oh man, excuse me, an update in regards to Xbox hardware. This one actually has me excited, and because I even showed my girl, I was like, "Ooh, this shit is sexy," and I was like, "I might want to get it." I'm gonna bring it up here on the screen. Here is the new announcement for the new controller. It is like this gold, but it like fades to black, and man, this shit just looks fucking beautiful. And I was just like, I gotta add it to the collection. I have to. Like it just looks that dope. And it's a different color scheme too, because like I have red, I have two blacks, I have two blues, I have the Forza Horizon controller, I have the Velocity green, um, I have the white. So yeah, like I have every color except for like gold. Gold would be different, and I also still want to get a purple controller as well. So
Yeah, that fades crazy because I have the old Xbox One, the one that was the
mm,
Phantom one, that it was like the grayish, but then it fades down and it's kind of a little bit translucent.
mm,
I got my girl the white one that was translucent as well, and stuff. So I want to get this gold one because I remember I wanted to get the copper one back when the Xbox One was out, and I wasn't able to get my hands on it. So I said, might as well get this one and see what's up with it.
Yeah, you're talking
And the
about this
back
one right
is
here.
black.
This
Uh,
this white one. It'll probably take a second to pop up on your end.
yes.
But yeah.
Uh, I have that white one. I have the purple one. The black one was actually the first one that I ever modded. I
Okay.
modded the triggers in it and stuff like that. That's when I was first getting into modding controllers. So yeah, I got a few of them. So I love that stuff. But that
Yeah.
gold one, sheesh. Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah, that shit's
that's
fire
good.
for
Yeah,
real. So let's talk about something that is on fire. It seems like every week, and in my opinion, here is PlayStation. PlayStation was yet on fire again because we were so excited. We're like, awesome, PlayStation's in the news. They're offering free games to all new PS5 owners. We're like, yeah, it's pretty dope. It's an enticing thing where if you're an Xbox fan, you could buy a PlayStation and get a game for free. Well,
yep.
turns out they're changing that offer for all PS5 owners. It's been changed to invitational only, and so only a selected amount of players are going to be able to get this free game. And I was just like, that's just shady. Like you're already like you just took the incentive of wanting to transition to a PS5 away. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. My buddy, shout out to Daydreaming Artist. This is literally how he got Spider Man. So he was so happy to get his PS5. He got Miles for free and everything. And I believe it wasn't it 2 games that he got. I could be lying. I know he bought one, got another one for free due to this, whatever the case may be. Off rip, he was coming in with 2 games,
Yeah.
and it's like, yo, like it's amazing. And then boom, snatch it away. And I understand, they do have a new guy stepping in that we talked about. I think last
Mm-hmm.
pod or two
Yeah.
pods
Last
ago.
pod. Yep.
Um, so maybe some changes are already coming in while they're setting up for our man to leave. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but it's not good, man. It's not good at all. Like you said, it leaves the incentive out now for me to want to switch to you. I mean, granted, not me personally, I already
Right.
have one, but for those who don't and everything, like
Right. I don't have a
I would
PS5,
most
but like that doesn't make me enticing knowing that like, ooh, will I be selected to get a free game as a new PS5 owner? It's like,
exactly.
why do I need to like hope for it? Like it's a sweepstakes or something? Like, man, I hope I hit the lottery tonight. Like
Yeah,
it,
it's
it's
it's it's rough and everything because like no, now you gotta if you want that now you gotta start looking at the GameStop bundles that rip you off. And it's like, oh yeah, we'll give you a free game, but you gotta pay extra because we're gonna forcefully also add on to this bundle an extra controller, a headset, a charging station that you're never gonna use. You know all that shit.
right, right. So as the fire keeps burning, it burns even more here because obviously we know Sony was hacked the other day, and they officially sent out notifications to current and former employees along with their family members to inform them and like, hey, this shit was legit. Like we were. Your personal information is probably out there on the dark web now being sold. The company said they sent out data breach notifications to about 6,800 individuals, confirming the intrusion. And it says it exploited a 0-day vulnerability in the Move It Transfer platform. So I mean that's probably like some deep talk into like IT shit that I don't really know much about and like how that stuff's all handled. It's probably like all their account software programs and stuff like that that houses
Yes.
all of that. But yeah, it says the Clop Ransomware Group added Sony Group. Sony got as a Japanese multinational conglomerate corporation to their victim list. Apparently, these guys are well known for hacking into companies, and this isn't the first one, and it's not going to be the last one to their list of hacking into them. So hopefully, some company can step in and like try to knock these guys out or get them off the market. But sad to see that PlayStation just can't have a secure enough system that they easily get hacked all the time.
Yeah, I understand that a lot of people are like, especially bigger companies, they don't like third party companies coming in and actually taking care of this stuff. They much rather have things. Well, that's not true because a lot of companies do use third party for their cybersecurity. But I do think that instead of Sony as a company as a whole, well, no, that's BS because this stuff that got happened and everything they do. I think on paper, Sony and Sony Interactive via PlayStation and everything, they are technically separate, right? On paper.
It's probably like the whole how EA Sports and EA Entertainment
Yeah,
is now.
because I know it's definitely not like Microsoft because
Mm,
Xbox is just a division of Microsoft.
right.
I know it's not set up that way, but regardless, whoever's in charge of the pocketbook and everything over at Sony for PlayStation stuff, they need to seriously crack down on this shit because people gain trust with their companies, and when you trust them, you start to do things like PlayStation. I don't know if it's still like that anymore, but before, if you wanted to add something, you had to permanently, like, or not permanently, but you couldn't just use your card on PlayStation. You had to add your card to your wallet or whatever, and then blah blah blah.
Right.
So I pray that they really crack down on this shit, because one thing that people don't like is someone messing with their money.
Right.
And granted, this was just employee data, but that's a lawsuit coming in.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely
That's-
easily. It's just like, how can you be the leader in the gaming industry when it comes to consoles, basically, and you're just like, we're the best, but like we can't protect your shit. Like it's just
yeah,
mind blowing because this isn't the first time that they've been hacked, and sure it's only going to be the last time at this rate.
yeah, definitely not, man. I'm just, it sucks to say because this happened, but I am just glad that it wasn't as big as it could have been,
Yeah, it could
because
have been
from the
millions of
looks of it,
people.
it
Yeah.
was employee data, but it had they got into that customer stuff and they got access to all those millions of players. Yes, it probably would have been a wrap for Sony. I don't think
Yeah.
you're gonna be able to come back from that lawsuit.
Right. Well, I think it actually affected more than just the employees because actually the one guy that was in our Shoot to Win Discord, he was just like, yeah, man, I suddenly got unbanned on Sony or on PlayStation Network, and then I got banned immediately, and they were like, yeah, you got hacked.
Nope.
Like your shit got hacked because
Yeah.
they were in there fucking with some shit. They probably went in there, unbanned everyone, and then fucking banned them again or some shit.
So that means that they did get into some use. Damn, that's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely be on the lookout. I mean, you have a PlayStation, so hopefully you don't got nothing too crazy on your PlayStation account, and at least double
Hey,
check.
no, no, no. This is why the only time I ever add anything on there is my Cash App card. Go, you
Go
get
ahead.
nothing from that.
Take that shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, $0 on that shit. I order a new one. Go ahead.
So let's go ahead and move on to a PlayStation partner here, or at least old school partner, because it seems like things are changing here. Final Fantasy 14 had a recent update where, if you want to, because this is the MMO, right? And
Yes.
you will now be able to play the entire story solo because they've added a new duty support system, which now allows you to bring NPCs with you into the dungeons. So obviously in dungeons, I don't know how many people we need, but like other games, you need like 6, 8 people to do the dungeons or whatever, and sometimes it's hard to get that group of people. But if you want to play through this shit
Yes.
solo, just grab these NPCs and you'll be able to play through it, which that's awesome. To me, it's like an accessibility feature in a way because like
Yeah.
some people don't like to be social because they have anxiety issues or they don't know that many friends and maybe the matchmaking system isn't that great. Just bring in NPCs.
Facts. Yeah. I mean, like you said, some people are not really that social. When I game, there are some times where I just want to be left alone. I don't want to hear nobody. Like earlier today, I'm playing Gotham Knights, and I'm in a party chat with two of my buddies. Love them to death, but they're just yapping, yapping, yapping. Oh, well, what do you got for your armor here? Oh, what do you got for your weapon here? And I'm just like, oh, I left, and I was streaming too. I left the party, put my thing on Do Not Disturb because they were sending me party invites like
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
Set my thing to Do Not Disturb, so I got no notifications whatsoever. And I
Mm-hmm.
stood streaming. I didn't join the party chat. Stood in game chat. Made my thing to what you call it, to private lobby, so they couldn't even join my game. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, there we go, peace and quiet.
It'd be
so
like that.
yeah, so shout out to those who actually want to progress the story, but there's possibly certain things that they couldn't do because, like you said, needing to have a bigger party size, but
Mm-hmm.
they probably don't have a means of communicating, or they're not good at communicating.
Right.
Whatever the case may be, happy for those.
For
Happy for them.
sure. Let's move on to a company that's been like in some shit lately as well as Epic Games. This one's interesting here because they're adding an age rating for all Fortnite experiences. So I guess it's like it'll be E for everyone, M for mature. But we're talking about Fortnite content. Like, do we really
Yes.
need this in a Fortnite game?
Yes. And the only I actually think that certain games such as a Roblox, you need that as well. I went down a rabbit hole of the YouTube videos that were talking about the dark and adult things that are on Roblox, and with the being able to create your own games in Fortnite and stuff like that, and being partied up with certain people, you never know what you're gonna get if you're getting random people or stuff. Um, I wouldn't mind that. I don't think it's a necessity, but I think it's a great thing to have.
Right.
Now, I'm not telling you that in the verification process you should be telling me to upload my damn driver's license. Like, I don't know about all that or my social.
Right.
But I do feel as though that at least if your account is tied to a birth date, so your PlayStation account, has your birthday on it.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that you should be locked out of certain things. I think you should be put in certain lobbies, if that
Right.
makes sense. Go
Yeah.
to your classroom, pretty much. Like, feel like that.
Right.
But again, it's only because of as I'm learning more about the crazy stuff that's on some of these things, where allow you to create your own lobbies, your own maps, and everything. It's some weird stuff out there, man.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't look at it like that, but yeah, that definitely makes sense. And plus, this actually might be a build off of like what happened with the whole, the kids were buying shit on Fortnite without their parents'
Oh yeah.
acknowledgement, and they got in trouble because they were like just abusing the fact that kids could just buy shit at will, and they had to refund and refund a ton of money on that. And I wonder if it's kind of built. They like looked at it and were like, well, maybe we should make a lot of this shit like age appropriate. Like you can't
Hmm.
be 12 years old and be allowed to buy something or whatever it is, or be able to participate in certain events and stuff like that. So
If
I'm
you're
pretty sure it
eight
might
years
be a
old
little.
and everything, that account should be locked at midnight, baby. No, no, hit your ass in bed. Unless it's summertime. Like geotag each person and everything and stuff like that so you know what time zone it is.
Right, right. So also sticking along the lines here, Epic Games, there was an article came out because they're officially updating the Unreal Engine pricing for developers who are not making games. So I was like, this is interesting, but this is kind of in the same talk as of like Unity raising prices and changing policies and stuff like that. But it's just like Unreal Epic doesn't want people to be using Unreal Engine if you're not really making a game, because otherwise you're just costing them money to use their engine for free to make shit that you're not making a game at all. You know, so it'll be interesting to see how this definitely plays out. It says Team Sweeney says the company began running into financial problems about 10 weeks ago, which is this plays all along the lines of what we talked about last week. How they were like, we have to lay off people because Fortnite is in this limbo of not being able to produce the same amount of experience, like money and stuff like that. And you're just like, well, Fortnite's been around for how long now at this point, and you're kind of doing the same thing. Like it eventually was going to
Yeah.
hit its plateau. Like you already went over the peak. You're coming back down. The
Yeah.
hype for
That
Fortnite
was
is not there no
a
more.
long ass peak, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that shit was like Mount Everest for real.
Facts. Oh man, that is nuts though. But I'm not gonna say that I'm mad at them for it though.
Hmm.
Um, Primarily also because in the game industry, it's costing a lot of money to produce things now.
Right.
But if you're using Unreal Engine 5 or 4, and I don't know if it's possible, but let's say you're using it as the building blocks to make a movie or something like that. Like the a lot of people who made the game, is it Kenna? I think a lot of them were actually old Pixar studios workers.
You talking about
So
Bridge of Spirits or
now,
something like that?
yeah, kind of Bridge of Spirit, yeah. So like now I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, for someone like that, like, is it possible now that like, okay, can they do a reverse type thing? Well, I'm gonna use this gaming thing that I know I can use this software for free, and possibly use the building blocks to now make a movie out of it or with it.
Right.
Oh, guess what? That's not a game that you're making, so yeah, I'm gonna charge you more because the Hollywood money nice as hell too.
Right. Right. Or I'm pretty sure people were probably making like experiences like how the whole the Matrix Revolution experience or whatever when they were showcasing like what that
Yeah,
engine can do. Maybe people were just doing those kind of experiences where like they weren't
and
full
it's free
fledged games
download.
and you're just doing stupid shit like that.
The Superman one as well. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like where your head's at.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
man.
become businessmen. Let's
Yeah,
raise
man.
prices on all them.
Yeah, fuck that. So let's go ahead and move on here to our next topic. Sticking along the lines here of like movies and stuff like that is like the fact that CD Projekt Red has been super successful here with Cyberpunk 2077. It has officially sold more than 25 million copies, and it's actually sold faster than The Witcher 3, which is kind of mind blowing because like The Witcher 3 has been like a great game. Obviously, it had its issues at the beginning, and then it sold really well. But also, Phantom Liberty has officially sold over 3 million copies as well. So a lot of
That's
people
amazing.
have been interested in this, and it's only been out for like what, a week, almost 2 weeks now, and with everything that's going on, big games left and right, and people were still trying to buy this DLC. Where I'm super excited for Phantom Liberty, it's just I don't have the time to play Phantom Liberty right now because I have to restart. I want to restart Cyberpunk 2077 from the very beginning and create a new character and get through this, and that's not an easy task.
The developers actually said they actually suggested people start a new campaign for this when the DLC drops.
Yeah.
So like I understand it, and also it's it's an RPG, bro. Like it's like where is it? Oh, right here behind me. My Cyberpunk 2077 controller here.
Yeah,
Like
that's
like bro,
fire.
like it's like I love it and everything and stuff, especially what they've been able to do and everything. But hey, shout out to them. That's amazing. That is amazing that they were even able to one bounce back as
Right.
well as they did. Because that was quite literally Undertaker like sitting up after he got his ass knocked out there. Like they
Yeah.
came back hard.
Yeah, and honestly, to think about it is like, yeah, you're talking about like how bad the launch was, right? Like how many more copies this game could have accounted for, because at their beginning times they had to refund a lot of fucking copies,
Yes,
a
they
lot
did.
of fucking copies, and like I can only imagine how big that number could be. But you were just
Yeah.
showcasing the controller. I showcased this the other day, but this is the steelbook that came with Cyberpunk
Oh, that's
2077.
hot.
This shit was like straight fire. Like I found this at the local like retro game shop, and I convinced him to sell it because he had duplicates of it. And I was like, I need that, bro.
Yeah.
So he sold it
No,
to me.
see that's hot in it because the wife told me that I was crazy because I just like cyberpunk aesthetics
Yeah.
and stuff. So what is a Steel series that they one of their headsets they had the cyberpunk edition of it. I have it in a room and stuff like that. So I'm like, yo, like I loved how all these things came out looking and stuff. I remember when they were giving away those gaming chairs, the cyberpunk
Oh
ones, the
yeah.
yellow ones. I
Yeah.
said,
With
oh
Secret
man,
Labs.
I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted one of them things bad.
Yeah. I remember Paris Lilly, big guy in the big name in the gaming industry. He has one,
Yep.
and he covered Cyberpunk like big time when it first came
Yes, he
out.
did.
So, yeah, like
Yeah,
good times
he
there.
had one. I was thinking Young, yeah, had one.
Mhm.
Alana, all the people. Had. I said,
Mhm.
damn, we gotta start cracking with this concept. I
Right.
need a chair.
Right. I need that chair ASAP. Especially my joint feel like it's falling apart right now, but
Yeah, my ass no, man.
But let's go ahead and move on here to a big one that we like to you like to play a lot lately, and hopefully I can play it again here soon. Is any game along the lines for Activision Blizzard. Started here with Diablo 4. It's officially coming to Steam on October 17th, so big time. You don't gotta download it through the Blizzard launcher if you want to stick to your Steam launcher. You'll officially be
Yep.
able to do so. So that's great there. But sticking along the lines of Diablo 4, Overwatch 2 Season 7 sees a Diablo themed version of the Blizzard world map, along with the Diablo 4 Lilith skin coming for Moira. So that's awesome to see there. This is coming out in a couple of days here on October 10th. There's going to be a new control map and another new skin for the Wrecking Ball as well. But I don't think this is enough content to get people back because Overwatch 2 is hashtag dead game, bro.
It is, and unfortunately, Diablo coming to Steam. I don't know if that's gonna do much either.
Hmm.
They keep having issues, like at least like every other week of the servers just going down. That and Overwatch together.
Damn.
I don't know if they got both those games on one server or what's going on. They
Right.
taking turns. But they got to fix some servers, man.
Yeah, they definitely do. I do want to check out Diablo 4 eventually. I played through Diablo 3 for the first time in the summer, and that was a lot of fun. So, or last year, fuck, I don't even remember when it was at this point, but never played a Diablo game until then, and it was a lot of fun because we had a 4-man crew, went through the whole story, and now
There you
Diablo 4
go.
coming out, so I do want to check it out.
Hey, story wise, that game you're gonna love it. I promise you. If you don't like anything about that game at all, you're gonna love the story.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Alright,
yeah,
I
easily.
I'll put my name on
Yeah.
that.
But let's talk about the most interesting one here is Call of Duty. Call of Duty was in the news for a few things. First off, they kind of revealed some numbers in regards to the franchise as a whole. It has made over $30 billion, and it also has sold over 425 premium copies of the game, and that's just a lot. Like that puts it in the running. Like if they wanted just to make group that into one, that would put it up there as like top three, top four best sold game of all time,
Yep,
and that shit
and
is insane.
well, unfortunately, I helped them climb that
Yeah,
mountain a lot.
so did I. There's a ton of Call of Duty here behind me on the shelf. But
Oh man,
and
shout to them though.
yeah, man.
Well deserved, especially for those. the big ones and stuff like that. I mean, coming from a PC game, then going over to console. Aside from the mainline games, Call of Duty also had some side off ones from the original ones back when Medal of
Yeah,
Honor was the big thing.
yeah.
You know, so like was it Call of Duty 2, Big Red 1,
Hmm.
and all those games of it, like going to from what that used to be to now. Oh
Right.
yeah, it was
It
a
it came in the into the market. It was trying to compete with Medal of Honor because Medal of Honor was the big game, and then it
yep,
knocked Medal of Honor out the rink cold. And Call of Duty
yeah,
is still around fighting these fights, and it's still
yeah.
the biggest game in ever.
And that was a competition to fight. Like you had to fight Medal of Honor front lines.
Hmm.
Like, are you kidding?
Yeah,
Like, Steven Spielberg.
yeah.
Like, that's some rough stuff.
Man, as soon as it hit though, COD 4 Modern Warfare, that was it. Because Medal of
Yeah,
Honor didn't have a modern day shooter. If I
at
if I
all.
can remember, it was all about World War II and older games, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
It wasn't until they released Medal of Honor, was it Warfighter or
Warfighter,
Warfare,
yeah,
something like
yeah,
that?
Warfighter, yeah.
Yeah, and then Call of Duty at that time was all about dolphin diving, and then Warfighter actually had the baseball slide. And then after that, Call of Duty added the baseball slide, and I was like, "Oh, there's no reason to play Medal of Honor no more."
Yeah, not at all.
But yeah, no, it's yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out
crazy
to Call of
time.
Duty, man. Well deserved.
But let's stick along the lines of here. Call of Duty. They released a tweet talking about DMZ. It says, "quote Although DMZ won't be showcased at COD Next this week, we're excited to share that we will continue to support the DMZ beta. Players will be continuing their infiltration opportunities for Al Mazrah, Ashika Island, Vandal, as well as Building 21 and Kashiki Complex. Probably butchered that shit. And it says, "Thank you for continued support and dedicated to the beta. We will share future updates closer to season one," which is really interesting to think about. Like, yeah, DMZ has been in beta the entire year, like since it came out,
Yes.
and therefore, like people were like, "Is it ever going to come out of beta?" And they were like, "With Modern Warfare 3 coming out, like, is it done for? Like, is it it?" Because we're getting zombies this year, and that's supposed to be the whole like the new DMZ. But like, I wonder if they're still going to add content to DMZ come season one. That's going to be the big thing
Um,
here.
I think it's a possibility. Only, oh, no, Let me stop. The the train for that DMZ, what is it called? What's the other one? Tarkov,
Yeah, yeah, from
like
Tarkov
those
too.
types of games have dwindled down a lot.
Yeah, the extraction shooter.
Tarkov doesn't even have the numbers that it once did. It has dropped and everything. Not saying that it's not widely supported because I still watch Tarkov creators. So shout out to Daddy Hacks and everything. So um, like I just think it's done and gone. That's not where Call of Duty fans are. Not really what they want. Now the fact that they could kind of integrate that DMZ esque playstyle with zombies, that might be a golden ticket.
Right.
That might be it right there. But I
I
do
just
not
hope the
think.
servers are stable because the issue with DMZ is I wanted to play DMZ. I
Mhm.
wanted to play it a lot, but every time I went to play it, I'd get kicked. Roger get kicked. Someone get kicked. Oh, the game crashed. Oh, this happened. Like there was always something wrong with the game where I could never fucking play it. So therefore, it got to the point
Yeah.
where I'm not even going to try and play this game anymore because it was also about like you loaded into a match with a gun. I got kicked and I go back to the lobby. I can no longer play with that gun. I have to wait like 3 hours or whatever for the cooldown
Yep.
to use it again. I'm just like,
So
man,
then
this
you,
shit's
you
whack.
got
I
you
don't even
got to
want to play it no
load
more.
in with just your hands and
Right?
shit.
It's dumb. I don't want to even do that no
Yeah.
more. But yeah,
Well, like
zombies has
listen,
me excited for that.
where they truly messed up was the fact that that game mode, a lot of people, yes, has played first person, but for Call of Duty, because it's so Call of Duty such a casual game,
Hmm.
they added third person mode in Call of Duty this year.
Right?
Now, granted, they took it out of Warzone. It needed to be taken out,
Yeah.
although it was extremely fun. DMZ could have been the mode where they actually could have played around with the third person. That probably would have been best for it. But like you said, yeah, I don't know. It's still in beta, but granted, Warzone was in beta for almost a full year as well
Right.
before it actually came out. But I do think that a train's long gone. I think it's over with.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
play
For
the
sure.
zombies if they do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the zombies experience.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but let's move on here to talk about Modern Warfare 3. Just we can give our maybe impressions on the beta, but I did wanted to showcase the video that they did showcase in regards to the aftermarket parts. So it's kind of like a new take on like the whole oh damn, how the fuck do I make this shit go full screen? There it is. obviously no sound. We can talk over this because I don't want to get hit with no copyrights. But it's like a different take on like the whole blueprints kind of thing, and it's like as you can see here, like they literally turn a little pistol into like a submachine gun, and it's just like I don't know how I feel about this. Like I really don't. And like, how do you earn these
Yeah.
aftermarket parts? Like they didn't kind of explain how you earn these. But what's your take on this?
One, I think it's just another ploy to just make you spend more money,
Mm-hmm.
because I can tell you right now, those aftermarket parts are simply going to be locked behind the battle pass or the store. It's as simple as it's going to be. Now, granted, I because the fact that com- I'm in the competitive scene and everything when it comes to Call of Duty, I look at this stuff and it's kind of a novelty thing. Now, for people who just play multiplayer and they want to have fun, or Warzone, this is huge. It quite literally changes the landscape, because in the stream, I don't know if they say it in this video, but they did say that that pistol, the Renetti that was turned into an SMG, it doesn't count as a SMG slot. So therefore, if you take the Renetti, put the aftermarket part on it, and make an SMG, it still counts as a secondary weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So you can carry that Renetti SMG now and still carry a primary weapon at the
Right.
same
And
time.
that means you don't have to use like overkill to carry two primary weapons or whatever.
Exactly. So now Warzone, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But now you got to think about it is that they also have Warzone Ranked, which isn't going to be launching with the game. It's going to be launching later on, I think in January or
Probably like
something like
season
that.
one or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Season one's supposed to drop with the official game release.
Yeah, I doubt
So
it.
that's the
they
weird
always
thing.
they
Oh
always
yeah,
drop it in December or whatever.
yeah. Which is the thing of why I say like it's weird, because the Call of Duty Next event, if you were listening to the details they were giving, Warzone's giving different details than the multiplayer. It made a bunch of inconsistencies, whatever. But my point being is that once you add rank mode, a lot of this stuff disappears. So
Yeah.
multiplayer rank mode, this means nothing. All that stuff's going to be banned. It's going to be G8, as they say,
Yeah.
and stuff. So although I like it as a casual multiplayer player and stuff like that, but once I get into ranked, it better be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because the balance now disappears, and that's the issue with it. The balance goes away. Now Warzone, like I said, it's going to be a blast. There's going to be the meta's going to change every 2 months or so.
Right.
You're never going to have a solid meta with these black market parts coming into play, and the more that get released, it's just going to get a little iffy. But I'm not too mad at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see that when it comes to competitive scene, it's useless.
Right. So let's actually talk about the beta real quick. I didn't have this on the itinerary, but we can give our thoughts because the beta's out right now. COD Next came out
What's
already.
this?
It's available on the PlayStation, which you have a PS5. I know you should be playing it right now while you're doing the podcast. If it was up to me, but have you watched any of the gameplay? Like, what's your thoughts on the whole beta? Like, how the game looks, how it's planned, stuff like that.
Call of Duty's back. Now it's also sucks because they did the typical business strategy:
Mm-hmm.
create the problem and then sell the solution, which is literally what they did. They had Infinity Ward just completely shit on everything that we all know and love, and then now Sledge is it Sledgehammer that's
Yeah,
making this one? I believe
well,
so. They
Sledgehammer's.
have to,
Yeah, everyone's participating in it.
yeah. Oh, well, Sledgehammer has to now come in and save the day. And it's kind of like, okay, Treyarch, you guys never fuck it up, so just try not to fuck it up next year. But we'll hold it down and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
so it's
They do
really
the zombie
weird.
part. Like they're doing zombies. Somebody's doing the
Exact.
campaign, and then someone's doing the
Yeah.
multiplayer, and then someone else is doing Warzone. Like it's
Ravens, yeah, Ravens doing the Warzone, so it's like it's insane and stuff. But the movement smooth, clean. I am so they kind of they bargained with us and everything and stuff when it came to the slide canceling. Slide canceling is back. Reload canceling is back as well. But slide canceling now does not restart your sprint or your tactical sprint, which okay, cool. At least I can slide cancel now. So yeah, it kind of brings the fun back, honestly. Yeah, it really does bring the fun back. So yeah, Call of Duty's back, baby.
right. I hope it's back because like this year, like when Modern Warfare 2 first dropped, me and Rogers were like, man, this is a great game. It's offering a lot. Campaign was great. Spec Ops was fun. Multiplayer was great. Then you had the raids come out. You're like, man, you got everything here. Like
Mhm.
everything I ever want in a Call of Duty game. It's great. But then it's just like fucking took a nosedive, starting getting bad bugs, bad updates, poor content, new content with quotes, even though it's just recycled shit. And it's just like, bro, like like I would actually be okay with paying $15 every quarter for a map pack at this point, because when map packs
Yes.
came out, it came out with 3 or 4 brand new maps with one remastered map, and then like all the other new content, whether it was new guns, whatever, new skins and shit. And it was just like you got solid content for $15 a month. But ever since they made
Yep.
DLC free, we just been getting shitty ass content. They're like, how easy can we make? Oh, this is already in the campaign. Oh, this is already in Warzone. We're gonna make this a smaller map, and here you go. Here's the map that you already been playing on, but in a smaller
Yep.
version of it. It's not new.
And this, yeah. Well, one thing is with maps, map voting is back. So that's good. But you are 100% right. I wouldn't mind bringing map packs back, primarily because it was a good system back then. If you didn't have the map pack and someone in your lobby didn't have it, then you just don't play that map when it comes up. Cool, whatever, and stuff. But at the same time and stuff like that, we still got quality maps every time.
Right.
So now that doesn't mean that every map was good,
Right.
but it's better than the BS maps we get now. Because now you gotta pull the wool over someone's eyes and everything. Oh yeah, look, you're getting this nice map, but guess what? We're gonna mess it up because you gotta have night vision goggles on and you can see everybody's laser. I'm like, bro, this is a nice map.
Yeah.
Take the night vision off.
Right. Just make it a daytime map. I don't need the nighttime.
Yeah. Then what was the other one that they're like, oh yeah, what's it called? Is it Lighthouse, whatever? They
Yeah.
took the house from estate,
It
put it
fucked
in
the
the middle
map.
of the map.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, bro,
They fucked that
this
whole
is
map
not
up.
what
I was so excited. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's the house from Estate. Oh, this is gonna be dope."
Yep.
And then like they changed the layout of the house. Then they put it at the very top, and then everyone's always fighting uphill. And I'm like,
Exactly.
"There's no flow to this map at all.
Yep.
Like, there's no flow to it." I was like, "This shit's garbage."
Now,
One
what I
thousand
will
percent.
say is the one thing that Call of Duty fans as a whole we say every year, and it never works out, is I hope they fix the spawn points. Now they never do. We've kind of actually slowly stopped saying it because we kind of just come to terms with
Yeah.
it. But hopefully this year they do fix spawn points and stuff because last year was kind of rough. It was
Yeah.
really rough.
Yeah, the inconsistency of the spawns from Modern Warfare 2, big issue. But a lot of the issues that I see already with Modern Warfare 3 that I've been seeing a lot of streamers talking about is they have to get rid of the mid map spawns. Like, that fucks up the entire flow.
Yes.
Like the how old school Call of Duties did was like you either spawn on the right side of the map or the left side of the map. If the bad team got to the right side of the map, now your spawn is now back on the left side of the map. Like, it would flip flop
Yep.
and stuff like that. And that made the most sense. But now it's just like, oh, well, you're here. Well, there's gonna be an enemy spawn right here behind you, right in the middle of the
Yeah.
map. It just doesn't make sense.
It was like, I mean, perfect example was Nuketown, an extremely small map.
Yeah,
Very small
imagine
map.
spawning in the middle of that map.
Yeah,
It wouldn't make
it,
sense.
it was literally we'd be like, yeah, no, don't pass the bus, don't pass the bus,
Right.
because that was a trigger spot. We knew.
Yeah.
We
But,
need
like-
that sub bag.
But you knew, like, you can quote unquote spawn trap somebody, but there was ways to get out of that spawn trap
Yes, there
if
was.
if you work together the right way.
Yeah.
There was
Yep.
always strategy to get out of them. Where there were some maps, it was at Modern Warfare 2019, where like there was that one the overpass map. Like, you could sit at a certain point where there was literally no way of getting out of it.
Yep.
No way of getting out of it.
Yeah.
So it's just like they gotta balance
Back
that
old Call of Duty maps and everything. I bring out an M16 3-shot burst. My reticle was a mustache
shit.
and everything and stuff like that. Go ahead, I dare you spawn
And
trap me.
I
You're
miss
dead.
I miss the customization from Black Ops 1, where you can like customize
Yeah.
your red dot, you can create your emblem. Like, that shit was the best
Yeah.
by far.
My sights literally was a mustache, and then my was it my what was it called? My emblem was green hands coming out of the ground like zombies coming out
Hmm.
and stuff, and then it said BOS, and then for Black Ops 2 it was a gorilla with a mustache and everything, but then my sights was still the mustache. Oh, I love that mustache. My sister had a heart, and as everyone's, oh, you got killed by a girl, she not even speaking on the mic.
That's great. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and move on here from Call of Duty. Just this is our update section to like 4 games or 4 updates here in regards to gaming. This one here is for a game that we're both excited for, Alan Wake 2. This is actually exciting news because it is coming with a performance mode at launch for the Series X along with the PS5. It will not be there for the Series S, but this is a way to
Yes.
be able to play the game at 60 frames per second, which is great. Whether this game needs it or not, we don't know because I mean the first Alan Wake didn't seem like it needed 60 frames per second, but it's a nice to have kind of thing.
Yeah. Considering the again, as huge freaking have bang Alan
Yeah,
Wake
there you go.
Collector's 360 edition still sealed in plastic. Like as a huge Alan Wake fan, I don't know, everything's falling. As a huge Alan Wake fan, I will say that at least in the environment in where the character saga is going to be at, you're not going to need all that extra crazy stuff.
Hmm.
Now their engine is different, so the illumination that you're going to be getting, it may need the developer talked about it pretty much, and he said, "Yo, listen, man, the CPU is great. It's not too far off from the Series X. It's the GPU in which the issues coming into play. So being able to kind of make it with the lighting and stuff like that, that's kind of where it's going to struggled at. I don't like you said. I don't think it needs it. If you have a Series S, you already know what you bought it for and what you're getting into. But again, I'm gonna be playing a Series X and everything. I'm gonna be playing a performance mode. like,
Right.
I love Assassin's Creed games and everything and stuff, and they're always gorgeous. I do not play my thing on visual mode whatsoever, or if there's any balance mode, I do not. I play it strictly on performance. That is all I do. I want my game to be as smooth as possible all the time. And saying that, with the Series S, they said that they did try to get it locked at 30. My issue is they said they tried, so it is gonna dip below it. Is not a locked 30.
Right.
Um, so yeah, playing Gotham Knights. I'm done playing 30 FPS games, bro. I
It's
can't do
rough, man.
it.
Starfield might be the only the exception because of
I
how
mean, if it's a
massive that
hard,
game is.
is it hard locked at 30?
Yeah, it's locked at 30.
Oh
It
yeah.
doesn't dip or whatever. Like
Oh,
it's a
then
smooth
that's
sailing game.
perfect.
The
Yeah.
game's too massive. Like the fact that you can like collect sandwiches from every planet on the thing and put it in one building and then leave and then come back and they're all still right there. Like
Yeah.
the amount of memory and like the game has to run all of it because it has to contextualize that at
Hmm.
all times. Like it doesn't go nowhere. It's always there.
Some
It's
lady did it
crazy.
with potatoes. I was
Yeah, the
dying
potatoes. Yeah,
laughing.
someone did that shit on the one planet where like the gravity is like negative something or whatever. So like he threw a grenade into the pile of potatoes and they were like, and it like slowly exploded and they just like floated in there and he's like jumping up in it. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like people are so bored or like
You
just
gotta
trying to do
love
some
it,
fun
man.
shit in there. But I was looking up the for control even from Remedy Games is that it I don't think it ran at 60 frames on the Xbox One, but when the Ultimate Edition came out for the Series X, it had two modes: the performance mode, which did 60 frames but at 1440p,
Yep.
and then it had us in a 4K mode that ran at 30 frames per second. And so I was just like, man, I was like, it looked control looked fucking phenomenal on the Xbox One because that's what I
Yeah.
played it on, and even because like it was like fast paced at certain times like with the abilities and stuff, and
Hmm.
it ran really well. But I think that game could have benefited with 60 frames. So maybe Alan Wake 2 will benefit just
Yeah.
as well.
I played mine on performance mode, but from what everyone tells me is when it released on the Switch, it was only streamed, so you
Mm,
can't actually like get it. But it was streamed, and they said it performed extremely well just being streamed. And they asked the developer about that and stuff with Alan Wake 2,
mm-hmm.
possibly being streamed, and then that got to me thinking with Xbox cloud streaming and stuff like
Right.
that. They already do this. Certain games that came out for the Series X and the Series S,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually stream to the One X.
Yeah. Yep.
So now I'm thinking of like you remember back in the days when they were like the
Yeah.
cloud, all those
Yeah.
memes. Uh, maybe it might be about time that they said, "Hey, screw you guys and everything. Now we're really doing this." So
Right.
with
No,
Series S,
that's definitely the plan. Like, cause they already had that other console that's in the work that is like strictly cloud based. Like, it's supposed to
mm-hmm,
be something that it's like a Fire Stick that plugs into the back of the TV, and there you are. Voila. I mean, look at the Samsung TVs that have the Xbox Cloud Gaming app
yes,
that's gonna be on it. Like, they were working towards that. They were just way ahead of the time.
it's just gonna be great, man.
But
Um,
we got a couple more updates here. Payday 3, which I know you and JD and all them guys over at Shoot 2 had played this, and you're part of this number here. It crossed 3.1 million players in September, and it's pretty awesome, especially for the very lackluster launch that this game had and all the issues that it had. The fact that it still got 3.1 million players to check this out in the first month. That's great. Great
Yep.
to hear. I
That
definitely
first
want to
week
check it
was
out.
rough.
Yeah, I can't imagine. This is a big one here that you actually shared to me was Lego announced a crossover game that's coming out, and it's with Animal Crossing. So be on the
Hmm.
lookout for that new one there. And last but not least, here for Discord, Nitro members can now create clips, edit, save, and share them. So it's kind of, I guess, like similar to like how Twitch is. Like you can create clips from your stream, edit, and upload those as well. So that's pretty awesome there. And just want to add one more quick one is that Elon Musk has been testing the whole streaming to Twitter, and
Yep.
it seems like it's working really well and stuff like that. So it's supposed to be coming to Xbox and PlayStation here soon to be able to stream to Twitter. So I'm really excited for that, and the fact that like certain features will be locked behind like you have to have a subscription. He was like, that's going to be a way to build subscriptions for people to want to watch your content. They got to be able to
Yes.
subscribe, and I was like, is it time to leave Twitch for Twitter or X in this case? That's going to be
Yeah,
the
I
big
know.
question.
I know somebody who streams on Twitch, and they stream on X at the same time.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's possible.
yeah.
Especially no. Now I wonder how is that going to be? Because if you get a certain amount of engagements, you can actually monetize your tweets and everything and get paid for that.
hmm
Wonder how that's going to work for the streams now. That's
Yeah,
going to be interesting to see. I like this.
I'm curious. So that's all of the gaming news that we did have this week. We do have a few leaks or rumors to get to, so let's check those out. All right, so let's dive into the first one here in regards to Xbox. This one is kind of like all but confirmed, but State of Decay 3 is rumored to release in 2027, according to a developer's ArtStation profile. So that's really interesting there. It's just like, man, we've already seen this game a couple years ago, and the fact that it's still like 4 years away, like what happened is the big question. That's what I'm really curious about. Um,
I think the Unreal Engine 5, honestly. I think that's what happened with Unreal Engine 5.
yeah, maybe. Next up here for PlayStation, Sony Santa Monica Studio is rumored to be working on God of War content, which may include DLC for Ragnarok. Um, so that's interesting. It's just like, are we going to get some new shit from Sony at all, or are we just going to get some new DLC? Because Last of Us 2 is apparently getting a remastered, and this has been spotted on someone's LinkedIn profile of a Naughty Dog developer, which a lot of these profiles for a lot of these developers are like leaking out a ton of information.
Yes, they
Mind
are.
blowing. Then next up is for Nintendo. Nintendo Switch 2, codename NG, could have two SKUs when it releases, and it has
Hmm.
a estimated release date of September of next year, where the $450 version will be the standard, be able to put the cartridge in, and then a $400 all digital version. So it's like 400. Is that a good price tag for the Switch 2? You think, if it's running at games like Xbox One and the PS4?
I mean, if we're talking CPU like them, I guess, because we got a lot of good stuff with that. But GPU pushing,
Yeah,
I don't know about that now.
gonna be a big question mark there. Then for Activision Blizzard, there's apparently a new unannounced survival game coming in 2027. Seems like it's a big year apparently here. This one was also leaked from a ArtStation profile from a Blizzard principal and lead environmental artist. So I was just like, man, ArtStation man has leaked a lot of shit this week. But Activision Blizzard might have a new game in the works. But
Yes, sir.
last but not least here, I'm excited if this does happen because happy birthday to me. But X Defiant might be getting released either on October 17th, which someone on Twitter was like, that is probably not happen, but it could release on October 28th, which is my birthday, which I'm all for it. I'm ready. I'm looking for that COD killer. I'm looking for the next thing that's going to be a lot of fun for the arcade shooter. So maybe we'll see X Defiant in a few weeks. What's your
Birthday
thoughts?
stream, let's
I know,
go.
right? So yeah, man, that's all the leaks and rumors that we had this week. You have any takes on the leaks and rumors as we got the my
Oh,
here
look at the
coming to hang
babies.
out for the end of the episode here?
Hey, how we doing?
Say hi.
So
But yeah, man, any thoughts on any
adorable.
of the leaks and rumors here at all?
For the leaks or rumors, no. But if I, wait, hold on. What was the leaks or rumors? No, I actually kind of want to jump up real quick. To what we talked about before the
Mm-hmm.
leaks and rumors. Oh, I scrolled down too fast. About the Lego and Animal Crossing.
Right,
I don't know what exactly that's gonna be,
right.
but if they could kind of just remake like Animal Crossing New Leaf, but with Legos, so that way it's kind of a smaller experience rather than the
The biggest, yeah,
Animal Crossing we have now.
yeah.
Um, I'd go for that. I'd probably play the hell out of that game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Animal Crossing was huge, man, during the pandemic, and I mean Lego's
Oh
huge, so I
yeah,
think it's a great collaboration that they could
yeah.
have there.
And in terms of X Defiant, extremely looking forward to it. I do think that now they do have more of an uphill battle due to this game, the movement coming back, and everything that we
Hmm.
wanted being there now. It is a slightly bit more of an uphill battle,
Right.
but nothing's impossible. If they can actually launch out the gate with everything that they promised us and its stable connection and uh the response time, they did say that they got it down to the milliseconds in which it's normal for multiplayer games. It can rock out. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man, that's all the news that we had this week. So we definitely want to start off by thanking everyone who did check us out live today here on Twitch, and anyone who checks us out later on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But Paul, where can the community find you at?
As always, it's your man Inhuman Line. You can find me on all your various social media networks at Inhuman Line. That's INHUMANLINE. Again, that's Inhuman Line. And also don't forget, if you guys are into, what is it, G Fuel, gamer subs, and all that stuff, we ask you to win and everything rock out with Glitch. That's GLYTCH. Sorry to spell everything out, but I'd rather you know how to spell it. We rock out with Glitch and everything as our supplement, drink, and stuff. And feel free to use code SHOOT to win at checkout. That's the number two, not the letter or not the word two. So use that at checkout. Why not get a little discount?
Hell yeah. And of course, everyone, you can check me over at Twitter at Mr. Neverchillin underscore. Threads is at Mr. Neverchillin. Haven't really been using that. I'm hoping that that catches on. But Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. You want a game, party up, hit me up there. And of course, check me out on Facebook at Vic Brubacher for any questions, concerns. If you want to come on the show, hit me up on there. And I stream over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Neverchillin, where I'm playing Liza P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield on my stream. So be sure to check us out there. But we do want to thank everyone again. And until next time, peace. Bye.
Press start podcast.